everyone, and welcome to the Shape Workout Series, where today we're looking at flexibility and in particular some stretches that you can try, particularly for the runners among you. Before we begin, I must really emphasize that there is such a thing as being too flexible. And so my word of advice is that if you're in any doubt at all, rather don't stretch too much until you're told by a qualified professional that you're inflexible and may benefit from doing it. The problem is that you can easily stretch and become asymmetrical, where you become more flexible on one side compared to the other, or where you become more flexible in one muscle group compared to another. And so it's really important that you don't overdo the stretches. What we're going to do now is have Kim demonstrate 3 of the most common stretches to you. But before we do that, there are 3 don'ts and 2 do's that you have to keep in mind. The first one is don't stretch a muscle that is still cold. And that means doing a slight warm-up before you stretch or stretch after your run. The second one is to not bounce while you're stretching, but do everything slowly and in a controlled manner. And the third one is don't stretch to the point of pain, only to the point of discomfort. And the do's are to hold each stretch for between 30 and 60 seconds and to focus on your breathing and just try and relax into the stretch, because that really helps. So Kim's going to demonstrate the 3 common stretches, and we start with a hamstring stretch. And what we do here is a lying hamstring stretch, which puts the spine flat against the floor and takes it out of the flexibility equation. And what Kim will then do is, using any kind of band, a TheraBand or a towel, she'll pull her leg up towards herself. Now, you'll feel the stretch in one of 2 places. One is at the back of the calf, and if that happens, it's because of a neural tightness. And in that case, what you want to do is just bend the knee very slightly, because that puts the load slightly more on the hamstring muscle, which of course is where you want it, and then you can pull it in. What you'll feel is that as you pull the stretch up, you'll reach the point of discomfort. Just hold it there for a few seconds. That discomfort will subside, and you will be able to stretch a little bit further in. As I said, do this for a total of between 30 and 60 seconds, and then switch over to the left-hand side, and that's a hamstring stretch. From there, you can move over into a quadriceps and hip flexor stretch, which you can combine. And in order to do this one, what you want to do is the leg that you are going to be stretching's knee goes onto the ground, and you're in almost a kneeling lunge position. From your position of support with your back straight, you just get your hips slightly forward, and what you'll feel then is a pull in the hip flexor on this side. And what you can do once you've achieved that sort of stable position is just pull the foot up towards you, and now you add the quadriceps stretch to it. In this position, you might find that the quad hurts a bit too much. If that happens, just move the hips back to where you started from, and you'll feel a quadriceps stretch alone. Once again, hold the stretch for a total of 30 to 60 seconds. Switch sides, and you've done your quadricep and hip flexor stretch. The final stretch that we'll demonstrate is the calf muscle stretch. Now, first thing I just want to show you is that a lot of runners make the mistake of stretching the calf too much. And the reason they do it is because they'll find a step, and then they'll put all their body weight onto the calf as their ankle drops down below the step. That is potentially harmful because you may overstretch the calf. So rather than doing this, what you want to do is find a wall, and you push up against it, get the leg back behind you, keep this foot pointing exactly forward. The temptation is to point the foot out, and what that means is that you're no longer stretching the calf. So the key here is to keep the foot flat on the ground and make sure that the foot is pointing up in front of you. You'll feel the pull in the calf muscle. Once again, 30 to 60 seconds. Change sides, stretch both of them equally, and you are good to go. Perfect.